Okay, so I've been doing some videos last couple days because, things have been rough, man. I put like 14 gallons of gas in the Astro van yesterday, and it was like $92, something like that. And I don't know about the rest of you, but I need food. I actually have to consume energy, food to live. I haven't mastered this thing where you could stand barefoot on the beach and watch the sunrise and then feed off the sun so that you don't need to eat food. Apparently that's a thing. We're all going to have to master that, I guess, here, if we're going to be able to get through the day. I don't know how I'm going to get through this mess. And some of the stuff I've been putting up lately, it smacks of being political, and I don't mean it to be. I'm just talking about what I'm seeing. And the retort I'm getting from some of you, and some of you are just ignorant about it, and I don't mean to say, when I use the word ignorant, I'm not trying to call you stupid. Ignorance is just a lack of information on a particular subject, right? And it's the result of being lazy and not curious enough to motivate yourself to do some research. But there's no surprise here to the rest of us who were paying attention, like during the debates, when Biden said what he was going to do. And from day one, they stopped oil production pretty much. They slowed it down. No more drilling on federal lands. They took down the amount of oil. They restricted the amount of oil the companies up in Alaska could even extract out of the offshore stuff and on the land. All this stuff was done. And he said he was going to do it. And what you guys don't realize is that he talks about subsidies for oil companies. I don't think they need government subsidies. And I think if there was no subsidies, the oil companies would still do fine, and we'd all still have cheaper gas if they let them do what they were doing before this guy took over. But the thing that you guys also forget is that he is subsidizing green energy. And look, I'd love to see green energy be a thing. Be nice. But their thinking on this is that they can force us into it, when the technology really isn't there yet. Yeah, there's some electric cars. There's no electric Astro van, right? So you can't basically what you're thinking, or the way it works is, here's what's available. We want you to have this now, but that's not my lifestyle. So you're forcing me to change how I live, how I can do what I want to do. I can't do what I want to do anymore if I have to do. It just doesn't. That's not America. That's freaking communism, man. So one day, yeah. But here's the thing. Our country has enough oil under the ground, thousands of years worth of oil, where we wouldn't need to take another drop of oil from any other country. It doesn't make any sense. It's posturing. It's political posturing. Policies were put in place by this administration that has led to inflation across the board on everything, including the fuel prices. It's not about shutting down one pipeline. It was more than one, actually. So none of it makes any sense. And this whole thing with Ukraine, all this is orchestrated. And it just doesn't make any sense. But there's some great articles on here that you should read. They talk about during the debates where Biden was asked, would you close down the oil industry? And Biden says, I would transition from the oil industry. Yes. I remember this. I actually have sound bites. Oh, you know what? A buddy of mine sent me some emails. There's a really good Biden's U.S. oil embargo from the Wall Street Journal article from last Tuesday that you should check out. But let's see. Oh.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry. No more drilling on federal lands. No more drilling, including offshore. No ability for the oil industry to continue to drill. Period. Ends. Number one.
Bingo. Bam. There it is. I don't know if you could hear that. I don't know how the sound worked out on the camera. I hope it was okay. But that's him. All right. He said what he was going to do. They always tell us what they're going to do. But most of you weren't paying attention when he was saying it. So that's what the issue is. I'm getting these comments, and I've been shooting them down, mostly on the Instagram. I've never been political on Instagram. I don't think you should be. And I don't see this as political. You guys see it as political. If I'm saying something that makes your side look bad, then you automatically go into defensive mode. And if that's where your brain is going, you need to question yourselves. It's not my fault. If you feel bad because the people that you support are having the people pointing the fingers at them, well, maybe you've been thinking wrong. That's all I got to tell you. Because look, if you think that if Trump was still president, we'd have the same inflation, the same gas prices, and there'd be a war in Ukraine right now, you ain't thinking. Because none of that would be happening. Orange man bad. Mean tweeter. Yeah, all right. He was a meanie. Yeah, but most of what you thought about him was based on all the stuff that the media was telling you, based off of a bunch of lies, like the Russian collusion, which none of it was true. We know now is all fake. Even the people get upset when I use the term pandemic, but I see it that way. If you believe that the coronavirus was a thing that came from a bat in a wet market, I don't know what to say to you then. That's just silly. If you just look at how that virus worked, it went after specific things. It went after old people, and people had other sicknesses already. It made you weak enough to the point where it could kill you. That's an engineered thing, man. Like, and if you think about it, sounds all sinister, conspiracy theory-esque. I get it. I don't even like the way it sounds. But older people know shit. They remember stuff. So you know how you pull the wool over the younger generations? Get rid of the old people. Let's target the old people so they can't correct anything. It's the same thing with weather, you know. There's a 20 to 30 year cycle. It rains, we have a bunch of wetness, then it gets dry for a while. Then we get the wetness again. Then just in my lifetime, I've seen that happen. I heard about the 50s, the storms in the 50s, but I lived through the 70s and the 90s. And now, you know, so it's an interesting thing. People they just don't remember, but it's not 100% your fault that you're not remembering everything, because you're being constantly bombarded with bullshit all the time. But just so you understand, again, just as far as the gas prices go, 100% caused by this administration, by the policies of this administration. If you don't understand it, read some fucking articles. Know what the steps are. Know what they did to curtail the ability for the oil companies to extract the fuel from the ground. Just look into that. It's not about one pipeline being stopped. Anybody who keeps saying that, they don't know what they're talking about. Either they're ignorant or they're purposefully filling your head with misinformation. So I apologize if you think I'm being political. I'm not trying to be political. I'm just trying to state the facts as I see them, because I've been paying attention. And I try to usually speak in broad terms and be kind of fun with the whole thing, but just want to get my point out because I want to get things off my chest. If you need me to start doing this, and like, I will read this stuff, I'll look stuff up, I'll cross-reference, I'll start showing you pictures of the computer screen. But then that's where the channel goes, and I don't think a lot of you care about it. You end up losing people for it. I don't want to sit there and watch a bunch of that information. And the reason why so many of you are ignorant on these facts is because you don't want to pay attention to any of it. But you don't realize that you're holding on to bad ideas that were placed in your head at the same time. So if you're not putting the time into researching things so you're not ignorant, then just shut the fuck up about it anyhow, because what you think you know is just incorrect. That's just how it is. And if you don't like me talking to you this way, then unfollow me, unlike me. I'm fine with that. Nobody likes everybody, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm beginning, I get on the fence about some of the comments, like, should I just block this person? Because who needs them around? But, I mean, you're entitled to have your opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. You know what I'm saying? So just look it up. And the thing about the pandemic slowing down oil, oil prices were coming down before the pandemic happened. Gas prices were coming down. The last president put policies into place that allowed the oil companies to produce more oil, more than ever before. That's how that was working. It made us energy. In case you don't understand the term energy independent, we did not have to buy oil from anyone else. And right now, we don't have to buy oil from anyone else. All this is placating the greenies. That's all this is. And those people mean well, but the problem is that what you guys don't understand, you think that the green people are like these, oh, tree-hugging, love the animals, happy, nice people. No, 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 no. There's giant corporations involved here. They're no better than the oil companies. They want money from the federal government. They supported the Democrats in the last election. They're getting all these favors now because of the money that they pumped into them. That's what's going on. It's crony capitalism all over again, but instead of it being the oil companies now, it's going to the greenie companies. So that's what's going on. And again, they're using it as a tool to try to force us into a whole different lifestyle. They're trying to force it upon you. When ideas are so good, it has to be forced upon you. You have to question how good those ideas actually are. So yeah, one day, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we didn't need to burn gasoline. But I'm going to tell you this right now. Mark my words. Always going to need oil. Always going to need oil. Lifeblood of the planet. And as I was saying the other day, in another video, this video is getting long, we don't know where oil really comes. We know it comes from the ground, but we don't know what's really producing it. There's plenty of places on, do your research, because there's areas on the planet where they thought the oil was all gone, and now there's oil there again. Russian scientists in the 1950s, you should look this up. There's some articles on this. It's pretty good stuff. They can explain it better in these. You just read the articles. They explain how they think there's inner workings in a plant that produces oil. So it's not a finite thing. If it was a finite thing, we probably wouldn't have any more oil right now, right? Because there's more oil being used today than ever before. There's more people on the planet consuming more products that require oil. And there's more people driving more cars that are burning more gas than ever before, and we still have oil. And the oil that's being burned doesn't know where it's coming from. So it doesn't matter if we're producing our own oil or not. We're still going to consume it. So why aren't we just producing our own oil and having cheap gas? We could have $1 a gallon gas. That sounds great. You'd be like, you're full of shit. No, we could. We could. We won't. But we could. We can have $1 a gallon gas. Oil companies would still make money. We'd have cheaper prices across the board. We'd be able to export oil and be making money from that and helping people out, because they wouldn't be supporting countries that are cutting the heads off of people or forcing their people into all kinds of other stupid things like our government's doing to us right now. So it's a political thing, and I'm not trying to take one side or the other. I'm taking the side of freedom. I'm taking the side of capitalism, because that's what it is. This thing, too, that people get in their heads, well, they shouldn't be getting subsidies, or they shouldn't be getting deals, and oh my God, look at the deals this guy's getting, that's bad. And how does that affect you? If you came up with a good idea where you could create a company or a business that supported, you made enough money where you can open up more factories, employ more people, you'd be the good guy, wouldn't you? Oh, no. All of a sudden, somebody would come along and go, wait a second, how come you get to do so well and make so much money? And then they'd start attacking you. And all you did was come up with an idea that provided jobs for thousands of people, so they could put their kids through school and buy houses and cars and everything else. The idea that we demonize success is retarded. I don't know. I don't understand what that's about. But there's people out there, that's what they're doing to your minds. They're warping your sense of reality. You should be happy when people are successful. I want you all to be successful. I want everybody to do well. Do well by doing good. Do good for one another. End up doing well because of it. But pull your head out of your ass. Read what's going on. Stop just allowing a talking head on a TV screen or a voice floating through the air on the radio to form your opinions for you, because you sound stupid. You're going to say, I sound stupid right now, but I can back up everything I've said here. There's another good one here. Biden's oil embargo. I mean, just put in Biden's oil embargo in a search engine and start reading the articles and see what you can find out. Because it's insane. It's just that they stopped offshore oil production. The information's there. I don't have to read this for you. So get off my back about it. I'm not supporting the Republicans. I'm certainly not supporting the Democrats. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just an American. I'm just looking at what I'm seeing. And if I post something about the gas prices and I'm like, thanks, Joe Biden, you know, let's go, Brandon, people get bent. You're getting bent because you're like, to say that politicians don't affect gas prices, when you say that, you sound stupid. I'm not saying you're stupid. You just sound stupid. So sound less stupid. Do a little research. And if you don't like me, if you don't like this message, goodbye. Delete me. Stop following me. Stop following me. Because I'm only going to continue to say things like this. I don't want to put any more videos out like this, even on this subject. But if I continue to get dumb responses, you're going to irk me to the point where that's what I'm going to do. And then what's going to happen? I'm going to start having to read whole articles for you, right? That's crazy. So have a good day. Be nice to one another. Bye.